Hey, if she good, see my pussy, he wanna take him a lookie. Got your nigga in love, he said I love fuck like no rookie. If I get him no cookie, he gotta pay just to book me. Catch that bitch shady, if I take it out, I'm a fucking book.
Hey girls, so I'm back and this video is like completely unwarranted. Like, raise your hand if you asked for this. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm just gonna assume nobody asked for this video, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So yeah, what happened was I just not too long ago finished reading Umineko, When They Cry, but like my intro suggested, this tier list is completely based off the manga adaptations of Umineko because I don't have time for the visual novel. Like, I know someone in the comments is gonna be like, oh my god, but like the visual novel has so much dialogue, context, so much monologue development. Okay, I don't care. I feel like the manga does a very good job on its own of like penetrating your brain and like leaving it violently wounded with just the amount of shit that happens in the manga. So I think I'm good, and I think my opinions are gonna be pretty solid. Let's talk about these tiers. So the tier at the very top is the logic error tier, which I don't think I'm gonna do logic error first. I think I'm gonna do the tier below it first. But basically, logic error is characters that I feel like I'm not supposed to like, or I feel like no one else likes them as much as I like them for like the dumbest reason. So it's a logic error. And I can hear little Satoko bitch ass laughing in the background. And then you move down to 1 gold ingot. These are the characters that I would definitely give a gold bar to. Like, these characters are phenomenal. I really do like them. Below is could use a hug tier, which is characters that I do like, but I honestly wouldn't give them the world. If I could, and I would just give them a hug because they've been through a lot. Then below that is the late survivor tier, which is basically characters that I would let fend for themselves, but personally I would like to see them make it all the way to the last twilight. Then there's Press the Switch, which is pretty self-explanatory if you've read like volume 7 and volume 8 of Umineko. It's basically the bomb in the island, so anyone that goes in this tier is just gone. I'm choosing them as the sacrifices for that switch. And then below that is Hell with Burke Estelle. So yeah, they have fun times on that tier. Like, it's definitely gonna get spicy down there. So just to like shorten the headache that I'm gonna experience doing this tier list, I'm just gonna immediately toss the people that I would press the switch on in this tier and not talk about them ever again, because I genuinely don't have the motivation to talk about them. But I feel like I should talk about the first two, especially Hideyoshi. I personally, like, it's hard because I do like Hideyoshi, but comparing him to like everyone else on the island, yeah, he can go. And then his son George on the side, I don't care for George. He's my least favorite of like the Ushiromiya kids. He, in his answer arc, I don't know what his development was supposed to be. He just got revealed to be an incel, so I just don't care. And yeah, the rest can go away. If you don't see a lot of the Seven Sisters, the Delano people, the Truth Girls, and the Siesta Sisters, I'm only going to put one icon for each because I feel like they're all evenly matched in terms of development, except for maybe like Maman from the Seven Sisters skewered things. So yeah, I'm just going to leave them at that. And fine, I guess like let's just officially begin with the first person I would give a gold ingot to, which is Shannon. Yeah, Volume 8 really does something to you when it comes to Shannon. Like, I was genuinely not expecting that. I feel like I was spoiled of Shannon's, like, truth, because I recently got a new laptop and I wanted to put an Umineko background on it. And I googled Beatrice Umineko wallpapers, and the first thing I got was a photo of Shannon in Beatrice's clothing, and then the second one was a photo of like half Beatrice, half Shannon, and I was just like, what does this mean? And then as soon as I read volume 8, which, like, let me just say, if you're still watching and you haven't read Umineko, go to the link in the description. Like, the manga's old. I don't mind, like, sharing a free manga link because I feel like everyone should experience Umineko. It's really good. But back to the topic. Well, as soon as you start reading through volume 8, you see that twist of Shannon dressed as Beatrice, and I'm just like, oh my god. So, yeah, and the whole thing is called Confessions of the Golden Witch. So, yeah, like, what do you know? Shannon is definitely an unfortunate soul. Like, I feel so bad for her background, what she comes from, what she means. Like, she's genuinely alone in the world. Like, she definitely doesn't belong anywhere, which is sad. And yeah, like, aside from the tragedy aspect of it, Shannon is just a really, really good girl, really nice character. She does get clapped a lot. She does get clapped a lot in the different board games, but it's fun when you get to see her survive more than the first 2 Twilights, and she actually gets development. So yeah, Shannon, one golden, actually no, make it 5. She gets 5 gold bars. And then right behind her is every single iteration of Beatrice, because Beatrice is Beatrice. Beatrice is definitely one of my favorite anime villains ever. Anime antagonists, anime protagonists, anime heroines. Like, she just does it all. Like, Beatrice is just fantastic. Like, her writing is really, really amazing. And she does that thing that villains do where, like, they start off super, super evil and super sinister, but then when the person they're, like, trying to antagonize, like, slowly starts, like, getting desensitized, they start, like, calming down and giving up, and at the end they just, like, do a full circle and become good. So yeah, I really do like Beatrice. I feel like I should talk about them individually, so I'm just gonna, like, start with Cuckoo Beatrice, the first Beatrice we meet. Cuckoo Beatrice is really fun. Like, honestly, she was my favorite villain until she became good, but as a villain, she's fucking phenomenal. I love her so much. And then you have normal Beatrice, which, spoilers, is Shannon. So, which Beatrice is fine. I've volume 8. I'm gonna talk about Batora later, but Batora and Beatrice are just kind of, like, meh. Like, the 2 normal selves of them are just whatever. Then you have I don't know if it's Beach or BK, the normal human Beatrice. She's actually really cool. I really do like her. I don't like how their arc ended with the whole yes, kidnap me daddy, but yeah, she's really fun. Right next to this whole line of Beatrices, we got, I'm gonna put Eva. Oh my god, Eva, you misunderstood soul. Like, Jesus Christ. I was genuinely upset when we found out the truth of what really happened in her timeline, because apparently her timeline is the canon one. So yeah, the timeline where everyone gets murdered but Eva and someone else, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, like, Eva, you misunderstood soul. She came back surviving from the island, and everybody blamed her for all the murders that happened. And then her niece, Ange, she genuinely believed that Eva was guilty. So imagine the whole world hating you for something you didn't do, and even your own family, after you just, like, lost your husband and son. Like, yeah, I feel so bad for Eva. When we found out the truth of what really happened, like, Eva instantly became one of my favorites. And when we saw her in the good world, the Halloween party world, and she was being the sweetest thing to Ange, yeah, 3 gold bars for Eva. Like, she deserves them. And next after that is Willard. Poppy Willard. Poppy Willard. Okay, Poppy Willard. Sorry, I'm just, like, really into Willard. What can I say about Poppy Willard? He got introduced in one book, in one episode, in one arc, and he, like, instantly like 5 chapters in, he instantly shot to like my very favorite male character on the list. Like, I genuinely love everything about him, from his demeanor, his sense of humor, his sarcasm, and how intelligent he is. Like, Jesus Christ, like, half of the things he spewed in the manga, I genuinely could have never guessed myself. But I also just love that he's a bicon. Well, I'm claiming he's a bicon. I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that as soon as this line popped up in the manga, I went into a bi panic, and yeah, like, that's just shot him up to high heaven for me. So yeah, Willard writes, man, Puppy Willard. After Zaddy Willard, we have, it was kind of hard. Like, these last 5 people, it could have been interchanged, honestly. Like, they're all equally well written, but I'm gonna put Ange just because of all the writing she got in the last arc. Like, Ange gets fucking bullied for high heaven. It, like, I don't know what it is with characters like Ange and just getting bullied by the world. Actually, that reminds me of something. Hold on, I'm gonna check something. Well, what do you know? I guess if they need a female character to suffer, this is the person for the job. But back to my point of Ange. Yeah, Ange gets absolutely fucking destroyed in the story. Like, I genuinely, like, some of the stuff she goes through is almost too hard to watch. Like, when she was forced to sit down by the 2 witches from Higurashi, obviously. When she was forced to sit down by them and watch, like, the true canon, basically, like, the truth of what happens in her timeline, and she saw that her parents were the real perpetrators. Like, damn, like, shit hurts. And when she went on that journey to read Eva's, like, real life diary of what actually happened, and it turned out to be the exact same thing she was shown before, and she broke down. Yeah, no, Ange has gone through too much. Like, I'm glad in the end she found happiness within herself and, like, grew up to be, like, a successful novel writer and some stuff. So for that, I am glad. But everything else that happened before that, like, she needs a hug. She needs 1 gold ingot. She needs to be a late survivor, and she needs to go through hell and back. So yeah, she's going on every tier. Okay, next up is Natsuhi, and I'm just gonna do something here. I'm gonna put the Natsuhi that pushed that baby off the cliff into hell. Like, that Natsuhi is just not coming back. But Natsuhi as a person, I genuinely do like her. Like, she embodies, she's a perfect, like, embodiment of someone who married into a rich family and was taught how to behave. Like, she's a very proper person. She's very serious. What happened to her in episode 6, I think it was fucking cruel. Like, I understand why it happened now, knowing the context and knowing who Beatrice is. But Jesus Christ, she just got absolutely bullied. Like, episode 6 was the Natsuhi destroy arc. Like, we just broke her down until she, like, snapped. And it was all thanks to Miss Furudo Erika, which we'll get to later. But yeah, Natsuhi has some really high highs and some really low lows. Like, I did like the very first arc where she took charge. Like, she definitely knows how to handle a group of people, and she's very smart. So yeah, I'll give her 1 gold ingot, not for the baby, but for being a very, very well-written character. Alright, next up, I'm gonna put someone else that just grew on me instantly the moment I met them, and it's Ushiromiya Leon. For people in the comments, if you guys want to explain to me, because I'm just, like, not understanding it properly, please do. Okay, so, is Shannon Leon? Because I, like, see the connection, because Leon is the baby that got yeeted by Natsuhi, and so is Shannon. But in two worlds, they have completely different hair colors. So am I just like meant to believe that in one world Shannon grew up with black hair and in another one she grew up with gold hair? Or are you telling me that one of them is wearing a wig? Because like, we know Shannon is Beatrice, but we also know Leon in another world becomes Beatrice. So yeah, I'm getting like so many like signals everywhere. So if anyone can explain, please do, because I know Leon becomes Claire and Shannon becomes Beatrice, but it's just like one pile of shit. And I want someone to dig it for me and like find the gold inside that pile of shit. So please do. But back to Leon. I genuinely do like Leon. His dynamic with Willard, Poppy Willard, is so fun. And at the end, when this moment happened, I was just like, aw, okay, cute. I like these two. Like, they definitely have like a good buddy detective dynamic. I don't want to say buddy cop because neither of them are cops like that. But yeah, buddy detective it's really cute, really wholesome. I don't know about the whole butt pinching. Like, it's kind of cringe when it happens too many times, but everything else besides from that, like those little joke comics at the end of each like manga volume, are pretty funny between those two. Okay, now next up is Ronove, and I don't have too much to say about Ronove. I just genuinely do like him as a person. I think he's canonically homosexual based on like all the threads I've read and stuff, and that's like great. I like that for him, but he's genuinely like my favorite aside from Beatrice, like my second favorite of all the like witch demon people. He's just so fun. He's also one that has like really funny joke comics, but I don't know if I can still find those. And yeah, like his design is top tier. I genuinely liked him in the arc where like Jessica and George got a lot of screen time. He was generally fun there, and yeah, he has some very good moments in the novels. He's great. Okay, last but certainly not least in this tier is motherfucking Batora. Like, I know his name is Butler, but I'm so used to saying Batora because of the memes. Like, thanks Beatrice. Ushiromiya Batora. So yeah, I'm just like stuck saying Batora for now. Batora used to be on the top for me until Poppy Willard manifested. And thing with Batora is he kind of went down for me, if I'm gonna be completely honest, because episodes 1 through 4 Batora are really, really good. Like, he's at the very top because I like his overconfidence and self-assuredness that witches don't exist. But once he like starts getting Beatrice and being friendly with her, and then he starts believing in witches and even becomes a sorcerer, he kind of just doesn't become as interesting for me. And I'm gonna be honest, in episode 8 of the manga, I was genuinely unsure as to who the hell I was supposed to be rooting for. Because on one hand, you have Ange, Birkenstell, and fucking Furudo Erika on the team of wanting to find out the truth of what happened. And then you have Batora and Beatrice on the team of not finding out the truth. But the manga's focused around Ange. So am I supposed to not be rooting for basically the heroine of the story? So yeah, like in episode 8, Batora was kind of shit. I generally didn't like him in episode 8. But everything else, yeah, he deserves this top spot for being such a fantastic protagonist, like mostly all the way through. Okay, and with that, we're done with the gold ingot category. Woo! I think I'm gonna sin now. I feel like sinning. I'm gonna do the logic error characters, and it's gonna get controversial from the moment I like start blurring out names. So I'm just gonna put this one here and immediately like defend myself. My first logic error, first character that I just can't help but like despite everything, is Ushiromiya Rosa. Okay, shit, how do I explain? Shit. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like this. Rosa is my favorite because she feels, aside from Eva, she feels like the most well-rounded. Like, she has it all. She has her really good moments and her really bad moments. Like, I genuinely, my favorite arc of the story is still the one where Rosa and Maria are, like, the last two survivors. Like, that genuinely was my favorite arc. And Jesus Christ, Rosa can never win. Like, she gets, aside from that timeline where she lives, she gets clapped in every single other timeline. And not even that, in the timeline where she does live, so this one, she has to experience probably the worst bad ending imaginable. Like, Jesus Christ, Beatrice was cruel to make her eat. Like, for those who don't know, she was forced to eat her own siblings. And then, we're not even gonna talk about the oven-roasted fucking Maria. We're not gonna talk about that. But, yeah, like, Rosa just can never win. Like, her good moments with her daughter Maria are some of the sweetest things imaginable. Like, I genuinely do love them when they're both happy. But that's the Rosa I'm putting up here. The other Rosa that's just, like, tries to violently slap the soul out of her daughter every, like, 5 minutes. Yeah, that one's going on. I'm just gonna press the switch on that one. We're not gonna pay attention to that one. Oh, and I forgot to say that in episode 8, Rosa pops the fuck off. Like, I'm so proud of her. I genuinely love the fact that she stuffs her purse full of gold and smacks people with it because she knows how heavy it is. But in episode 8, everyone's fighting Erika to, like, keep the Golden Land safe. And the girl just fucking tackles Erika and tries to stab her with, I don't know if that's a pen or a needle. But, Jesus, like, I didn't know Rosa could fight. And I just love seeing her when she's serious about protecting everyone and her daughter Maria. So, yeah, another reason why she's up here in the logic error. Because I shouldn't like her, but she's genuinely really, really fun and really amazing. For me, at least. Okay, next two characters I want to talk about are mostly in the design department. Like, it's not so much character like Rosa, but it's mostly design. And then it's Claire and Virgilia. And Jesus, like, firstly, speaking on Claire, she has my favorite design in all of Umineko and almost all of Ryukushi 7's works. Like, Claire looks fucking phenomenal. It's basically everything I've ever wanted. Like, pale white Lolita clothing with minty green tones to it. Like, it's fucking beautiful. It reminds me of Rhea from Three Houses. And that's not why I like Claire. I genuinely did like her in episode 7, where she was just, like, a monotone narrator of, like, the truth of the island. And I love her soft yet serious facial expression at times. Like, Claire is just fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Now on to Virgilia. Before Claire, Virgilia had easily my favorite design in Umineko. Like, Jesus Christ, Virgilia, in my opinion, she's probably the prettiest woman in Umineko. Like, she's absolutely stunning. When in the manga, I remember there was a shot of her just, like, appearing in front of Batora, and it was just, like, her standing there with her hair flowing in the wind, and Jesus Christ, she looked like a piece of art. Like, if I ever get enough money to commission a dress, I would definitely commission Claire's and Virgilia's, because I would feel like royalty dressing up as Virgilia. Plus, Virgilia, I do like more character-wise than Claire. Like, Virgilia is really a kind and caring person, and she really does care about Beatrice. Like, we know why now, because we know Virgilia is Kumasawa, and we know Shannon is Beatrice, and those two have always been close. So, yeah, I think for now, that's all my logic error characters, so I think we're fine to go down to could use a hug. I'm gonna be more brief with these people, because, like, I swear every tier list I make gets longer. So I'm just gonna be more brief with these people. Okay, we're in the with people that could use a hug. So I'm just gonna begin with Lady Birkenstow. She could use a hug. She could use some milk. She's a cat after all. She could use a little piece of sardine. Thing with Burkestelle is I'm mixed with Burkestelle because on one hand, when she's kind, she's really, really kind. Like, I like her. But when she's an ass, she's an absolute ass. Like, Jesus. I liked her in, like, the beginning arcs where she just didn't say anything and was mostly just sarcastic to Beatrice. But when she became the main antagonist, she low-key became kind of annoying. So, yeah, like, I'm glad Lamba won the fight against Burkestelle at the end and fucking blew her up with candy, which was amazing. And yeah, I'm fine with Burkestelle, Rika, Sumi. Next up is Beatrice or Eva Beatrice. Not much to say about her that I haven't said about Eva. Like, they really got redeemed at the end. Having a witch on Ange's side is really, really awesome and welcoming. And you can tell Eva, even if she said to Ange in her last moments that she hated her, she didn't really mean that. She actually really loved Ange, which is so sweet. Like, Eva Beatrice, while I'm not gonna forgive her for the fucking stunt she pulled in episode 3 where she, like, started killing Maria and Rosa over and over in different ways, and they were brutal ways too. Like, she fucking threw Maria in an oven and then blew it up, and then she fucking stuffed Rosa in jelly and made her suffocate until she coughed out blood, and then she turned her into a butterfly and had her eaten by a spider. Like, Jesus, it was fucking whack. Like, old Beatrice is going straight to hell, and normal Beatrice is going here. She could use a hug. Okay, next up I have Jessica, or I'm not gonna call her by the way everyone pronounces it, Jessica. No, Jessica. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, Jessica to me feels like the most human character in Umineko. Like, she feels like the most real. Like, if we were in this situation, we would all act like Jessica. Like, Jessica only ever breaks down if her parents are the ones that are killed, which, fair. Because you see her in every other timeline where, like, either her mom or father are still alive or both, that she is very, very strong-willed. But whenever either of them gets taken away from her, she does break down and gets really violent and, like, wants revenge with blood for whoever did kill them. So yeah, and she's genuinely sweet and energetic. Like, she's my personal favorite out of all the Ushiromiya kids, which doesn't say a lot because I put her in mid-tier. But yeah, like, Jessica is definitely my favorite, and she gets clapped in some horrific ways too. Like, apparently, from what we saw in the canon, her face gets smashed in with a gun by fucking Kyrie, which we'll talk about Kyrie later, honestly. But yeah, Jessica is fine. Right next to Jessica, I'm putting her boyfriend, Kanone, aka, I forgot his real name already, Yoshida, I forgot, it's one of those two. But yeah, I'm not gonna say much about Kanone because we know Kanone is Shannon. Personality-wise, Kanone, I still like Shannon more, but Kanone is very interesting. The times where he does live and Shannon doesn't, he does get some really good development. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the only time he survives longer than his sister, in quotations, is in the first episode, and then he gets, like, clapped in the second Twilight anyways. So yeah, like, there's not much to say about Kanone for me. He is very intriguing. I definitely like the arc where him and Shannon had to duel for their love to be proven. So yeah, stan. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about Satoko. I'm just gonna ignore the D that is there. I'm just gonna pretend it's silent. If it is silent, call me stupid. But Lambdadelta, she was an ass throughout most of the story, but at the end, when she does team up with Team Beatrice and Team Batora and Ange, yeah, she really does turn around. I do like Lamba more than Burn, But the only reason I'm putting her below Burn is because I'm currently watching Sotsu, and since we know that Lamba is probably Satoko, yeah, my impression of her automatically goes down. Like, if this was a Higurashi tier list, oh boy, I would have a lot to say about Satoko. But yeah, for now, Lamba, she could use a hug and a few sweets. Last character I'm adding to this tier, like, wow, it's a really short one, but this one's gonna surprise some people. I'm gonna put Genji here. For no reason, like, Genji, in my opinion, doesn't really get a lot of writing, but I personally like him the most next to Shannon out of all the staff, because his, like, very last episode development with Kinzo, we'll talk about Kinzo later, that's a headache, but yeah, his friendship with Kinzo seems really, really wholesome. Even if it's like a fabricated good timeline of what actually happened, seeing how their friendship dynamic was back in the day is really sweet and wholehearted. We know that Ronove is a personification of Genji, but I don't know if Genji is an homosexual like Ronove is. But if he is, that's good for him. I just personally like Ronove more. And yeah, with that, we're done. I'm gonna be super, super brief with the late survivor people. I'm just gonna give you like 1 or 2 reasons why I like them. And yeah, like, let's go. Alright, this first pick for late survivors really like took a lot out of me, because I'm still so conflicted as to how I'm supposed to feel about this person. But I'm gonna put Furudo Erika as the first person I like to see as a late survivor, naturally, because she's the detective. So, like, having a detective alive would be useful. But the thing with Erika is she's cunty. She's a cunty McCunt. And yeah, like, personality-wise, she's rotten as fuck. But design-wise, she is stunning. Like, I genuinely do like her outfit a lot. Like, I would wear this personally. Like, it's beautiful. And I'm gonna give Furudo Erika points for this. She'd probably be in the Switch category if it wasn't for this, but she genuinely has my favorite crazy face or face crack in all of the manga that I read. Like, that face genuinely made me smile because of how well drawn and well expressed it is. Like, it's so good. Alright, next I'm gonna put Hashijo Sensei. This one's random. I'm gonna talk about Hashijo and Federine and Ewa all in one. She's really pretty. I'm gonna give her that. She's very, very pretty. And the fact that her power is basically rewriting history, basically like almost insinuating that she's the writer behind the entire thing. But no, she's just someone with writing powers. But I really, really do like her, and her whole dynamic with like Lamba and Burn. The fact that Lamba shits herself whenever Featherine shows up, and so does Rika. Like, that really says a lot of how imposing she is, and her design's really nice. Did I talk about how good she is? How good looking she is? Yeah, she's good looking. Following her is Miss Gap. I would have put her in Logic Error. Actually, I'll put her in Logic Error. Fuck it. Like, let's have more Logic Errors. Gap, I really, really do like design-wise and personality-wise. Like, when we were looking through the lens of that little girl that was supposed to be Leon, I already forgot her name. Yasu, there. When we were watching it through the lens of Yasu, and she believed that Gap was the real Beatrice. It was really sweet, the fact that Gap was a really kind witch and just wanted a friend in Yasu. So yeah, I really do like Gap. Her mischievous nature is also really fun. Like, she reminds me of Orochi if she fucking fused with Catherine from the game Catherine. So yeah, like, that's a bonus. Next is Kumasawa. This is mostly because Kumasawa has like the most personality out of any of the staff. Like, her fun, joking demeanor and her relationship with Yasu is really wholehearted. Like, that whole scene where she was playing pretend with magic using utensils was cute. And yeah, she's a granny. We need a granny to survive a horror scenario for once. Like, I'm putting her here just so we have a granny surviving the events. Alright, next up is Maria. Maria's kind of fine for me. Like, when she's a nice little girl, she's just that, a nice little girl. But then she does this.
So what if I'm the monster?
So yeah, I'm kind of at a loss to where to put Maria. Like, I'm gonna put normal Maria, girl Maria, human Maria in the late survivor tier. But not for anything that she necessarily did wrong. Okay, so about this. Look, as much as I like Rosa, I understand where Maria's coming from. Like, no, I wouldn't do whatever the fuck shit she did. Like, I wouldn't ask Beatrice for powers just so I could kill my mother 1,000 times and, like, relieve my anger. So, yeah, that thing of Maria that just wants to be evil so bad, she can go to hell just because she wants to be there. So, yeah, I'm done with Maria. Okay, next one for funsies I put down here is Okonogi. God, I really wish I had a voice clip of Takano just screaming Okonogi's name because it's so euphoric to listen to. But yeah, I put him here because as a late survivor, he'd be very interesting. Like, and the fact that he's connected to both Higurashi and Umineko, like, immediately makes me tunnel vision the guy. But yeah, he has the Yamaino on his back. Who wouldn't want that? So he's definitely going in late survivor tier. Okay, next up is Kyrie. Oh boy, how the legends have fallen. So Kyrie used to be my favorite of the adult females in the cast, because through arcs 1 through 4, for example, you could see how much Kyrie has influenced Batura's way of behaving and stuff. So seeing him like take up after his stepmother is really wholehearted and wholesome. I like it. And Kyrie herself is a very smart woman. Like, that arc, I think it was 3, where she went to the other mansion with Rudolf and they like split off and actually fought off the demons for a bit. Like, that was badass. Like, I do like that badass moment for Kyrie. So I'm gonna put her as a late survivor because she's a useful person and skilled with gun. However, whatever the fuck this was, this is the canon, apparently. So just the fact alone that the canon shows a completely irredeemable side to Kyrie, the one that wouldn't hesitate to kill her family, her stepson, or even her real daughter, because to her real daughter was just a pawn to get with Rudolf and to break his marriage with fucking, I forgot her name already. But yeah, like, just the fact that that's the real Kyrie, that, whatever that was, is going straight to hell. She's never seen the pearly gates. Like, she's never going up there and seeing the stairs to heaven. Right next to that sinner, we're putting Rudolf. Yeah, same thing with Kyrie. Like, as a normal person, he's very, very charming and very fun. Like, he has the strongest personality out of all the Ushiromiya kids. So, yeah, he stands out a lot. But he becomes a goon in the canon timeline and even tells Kyrie that he wouldn't hesitate to kill his own son if he doesn't choose to align with them in their crazy scheme to kill the whole family. Like, yeah, no, you're also not seeing the pearly gates. You're going to hell, bitch. In a handbasket. Okay, so we're jumping over the Switch category and going straight to hell with Birkenstell. Okay, so there's only 2 characters here aside from, like, the ones that Alfred mentioned before. And it's fucking, first of all, Kyrie's sister is also ridiculously stupid and evil and cunty, and I hate her. So, yeah, that's her. And last character I want to put here is, I know they tried redeeming him, and I genuinely, like, see a good side to him, but there's just no redeeming what he did. And it's Kinzo. Like, Kinzo is the king of hell. He resides there. He lives there. the man who started it all, basically, the grandfather of the Ushiromiya family. Say what you want about Kinzo and his past and all of that. He's here in hell alone for what he did to the child Beatrice. So here's how the family tree goes. He had a wife, had the Ushiromiya kids, but he had a mistress, which was the original Italian Beatrice. Got her pregnant. She died during childbirth, and he believed that his daughter from Beatrice was a reincarnation of his late mistress. So when that Beatrice, his own daughter, became an adult, he impregnated her, and then had Leon, Shannon, Claire, Beatrice, all of those people, basically. And yeah, he regrets it. Yeah, at the end, he sort of like dies in peace because Shannon forgave him for what he did. But no, I'm personally not with the whole boat of impregnating your daughter. So yeah, you're going straight to hell. I hope you burn there, mister. And yeah, I'm sorry. And with that, yeah, I think we're done with the Umineko tier list. Oh my god. Stay tuned for when I like start reading more Ryokushi 7 works and do like more hour-long tier list videos. But oh god, this was so long, but it was actually fun to finally vent about certain characters and discuss them. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all next time. Probably a ReZero video because Summer Rem is coming and I'm putting my seatbelts on. All my saved gems are on their way. So yeah, like stay tuned. Bye bye.